A hook. I wanted a fishing hook, but I didn't have one, so this will have to do. I'm sure you are familiar with fishing. You may have never been, but you know the process. The person fishing throws the worms or the maggots or the bait into the water, and they also put one on the hook, and that too goes into the water. The little fish comes along having a nice day, sees its dinner, and eventually, unfortunately for the fish, bites into the worm on the hook. What happens to the hook? Into the roof of the mouth, and it wants to get free, starts to flap around. It's painful. Then, not only that, the person fishing then starts to reel in the fish. So the reeling in, the hook brings the fish out of its natural environment, which is the water. Now it's not only got a hook in its mouth, it can't breathe. So what we would call panic sets in. The fish begins to panic, flapping around here, there, and everywhere, just wants to be free. See, these hooks are, let me put it another way. Thoughts are like hooks. They come along, and what do? We're like the fish in some regard. We just bite onto them. They seduce us into their world. A thought. And just like the fish, we're not very discerning about which thoughts are useful, which are not. The fish just sees the bait, and we just see a thought, and we're onto it. And what happens, these thought hooks, they too take us out of our natural environment, which is the present moment. Could say the body, the here and now, just getting on with life in the moment. They take us out of here. You might be having a shower, you might be having a cup of tea, you might be texting or whatever, walking up the stairs. What happens is these thought hooks take us out of that present moment activity and into this made up world, the world of storytelling. And they too can create panic, because if the storyline is one of something frightening, something scary that might happen, that did happen, well, panic can set in. We can start breathing from up here. Thought hooks, getting hooked on thoughts, is the one of the major cause of panic attacks. We don't know it. So what I do in my work, what we do in our work at Mindfulness CIC, is we show people how to unhook from these thought hooks. See, these thought hooks are tantalizing. We are, in a sense, seduced by them. We're actually addicted to them. We're all addicts. And the reason being that this thought hook, right at its center, it has a kernel of a story. And so it's a kernel of a story. And we are seduced by this story. We think we're going to solve something, discover something, work something out, find the meaning of life. Whatever it is, we're seduced by it. And so these thoughts that come along, we keep biting onto them. And then you might have another thought, oh, why do I keep thinking like this? Another thought. We'd have a mouthful of thought hooks. So what we do in our meditation practice, and this is not just sitting on the cushion, this is meditation for real life. It includes sitting on the cushion, sitting quietly, but it includes our everyday life and our interactions with people. We show you how to unhook from these thoughts. That's what we need to be able to do. And it's a process of simply seeing. It's a beautiful and simple art of unhooking from thoughts. As soon as you know you're on the thought hook, you're off it. A fish can't do that. It's stuck. The person fishing has to take it off. I'm sure it's not very pleasant for the fish. And see, these thoughts, they have that story, right, as it were, as a kernel right to the center of it. But this story also, we we gain or create an identity out of these stories, because the story is always about who? You guessed it. You, me. It's always about, I'm always the star of the show. It's great, but it's painful because they're self-referential. It's me against the world. It's me in here, the world out there. And we're full of stories, but we can begin to find a way to unhook from this thinking and come back. As soon as you unhook from a thought hook, you're back in the real world, as it were. This is the real world of seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting, feelings, and thinking. Thinking is included, functional thinking. That's the real world. The unreal world is the world of thought hooks. These. It's unreal. Now that, obviously, thinking is a great tool. We learn to use it wisely. It's not that all thoughts are harmful. They're not. But a lot of them just come on and we just get hooked onto them. Okay. If you want to see any more of our work, we're at mindfulnesscic.co.uk. You can have a look. And yeah, it's a pleasure sharing this very, very simple teaching with you. Thank you.